everybody, I'm Everton Zaquini, and today I will give you 5 tips for you that want to start on guitar. Alright, to start off, here's the tip 0. Get a teacher if you can afford it. A teacher will help you guide your studies. You'll be able to learn step by step. And the teacher, you identify what are your problems, check your posture if you are developing bad habits. So it's really important at the beginning. Now, if you are studying by yourself, here are the 5 tips. Tip number 1, practice only one hand at a time. When you are learning an instrument, it's really hard to do many things at the same time. So what happens is that many people, when they want to learn guitar, they start trying to play a song that they like, and many times these songs has many chords, and they try to play the chord change and do the strum pattern, everything at the same time, and they get frustrated and then just quit learning guitar. When you're learning, your brain don't know yet how to do many things at the same time for play guitar. So what you can do is just practice, for example, all your chords, then only the strumming pattern. Then you put both things together. During the other tips, I give some examples how you can practice it this way and get a better result when you're practicing guitar and then improve your playing. Tip number 2, work on your technique. Okay, you can start with this exercise like 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's hard to start with 4 fingers when you're practicing this exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this one here, you can start only with your right hand. So this is you make things easier and come back to the tip number 1. So you can start only practicing with your right hand on the bridge here. The position is really important. So I will rest my right hand on the bridge here. Here's how I hold the guitar pick. So I use my thumb and my index finger to hold it, and I curved a little bit my index finger, and at this way the guitar pick won't move and I have a good grip. My right hand here on the bridge now, so I will start with 2 strokes in each string. Next step with 3 strokes. And then with 4 strokes. Notice that I keep my hand here and I just move down and up, but I didn't lift my hand from the bridge, always touching here. Now the second thing, let's put 2 hands together. So many times it's hard to play 1, 2, 3, 4 to start off. Let's begin with fingers only 1 and 2, so you can practice the exercise very simple, and on fret 5 that it's easier at the beginning. So you do 1, 2, then 1, 3, then 1, 4. Now, after this, then you can move to the 1, 2, 3, 4. On fret 5 at the beginning, it's easier. And practice it slow. Practice this exercise, and sometimes this exercise can be very boring, I know, but this will make things easier in the future. So once you are developing technique, you'll be able to play things that you want, and then in the future you can change. Instead of develop lots of technique, you can start to focus more on the creative side, because you have the technique to play what you want. So now let's move on to the tip number 3. Tip number 3, Now it's time for you to practice your chords. When you're starting on guitar, don't get many chords. So you don't need to get a song. Sometimes you want to play a song, that's what your main goal, but we need to work a few things that make it easier and you don't get frustrated. So you can start with simple chords. I will give an example of 2 chords that you can start to play and practice, and you only have to change one finger. So this will become a good starting point for you to practice, and then you move to more difficult stuff in the future. Alright, you can start here with the 2 easy chords, E minor and then an A7. So usually when you see these chords, if you look at the chord diagram, you see E minor with fingers 2 and 3, and the A7 sometimes with fingers 1 and 2, sometimes 2 and 3. Now let's do it easier that you can play something today. So to start, you can do E minor with fingers 1 and 2, very easy. And then when you move to A7, keep your finger 2, just move one finger and press on string 2 here, on fret 2, your finger 3, right? Once you get this movement, you can practice like this E minor, finger 1, press on string 5, and then A7, E minor, E7. Remember, only one hand at a time, finger 1, 3. Now let's play. Our right hand, just one down stroke, just to get the sound of the chord. And A7, A minor, A7, E minor, A7, E minor, A7. After you practice a few times this chord change, then you start to play only down strokes and counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you practice this one, it will become easier. Then in the future you can start to add some another patterns on your right hand, and then you can get the strumming. But then you already know how to change here. This is the main point. When you're practicing, do things separately at the beginning. Another example that you can practice is the C chord, this one here, and the A minor chord. So you can do the same thing. This is only one finger change. If we start the same thing, practice only the chord change, and then you start to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Be careful with the posture of your hand here. Keep your hand with the fingers curved here, and don't touch your palm in the guitar neck. Alright, so just keep here the position, so E minor and A7, and then C major and A minor here. Once that you practice this one, then what you can do, the next step, you can put together these chord changes. So for example, you can do E minor, A7, C, and A minor. And if you notice here, all this chord change, I keep my finger 2 on the string 4, fret 2. I don't move my finger 2. So E minor, A7, C major, A minor. So it's easier at the beginning. You start with some chord progressions like this before we start to get some more harder chord transitions. So I will play once, counting this one. I will do E minor, A7, C, and A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. You can practice this many times. Repeat. Work at this one, for example, for 1 week. If it's hard, just these two chords at the beginning. Work for 1 week on E minor and A7. On the next week, you'll work on C and A minor. Then you put them together. Now that you practice the chords, you can practice the strumming pattern. You can mute the strings here. So you can get this one, for example, that is very common, which is down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So I will do this pattern a few times, and then you mute here. So only our right hand. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Once you get this pattern, then you can apply this with the chord change. So we start with, for example, E minor and A7. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. The next tip is related to the last exercise. When you're playing strumming patterns, don't stop your right hand. So it's very common when you see beginners starting change chords, they stop, then move to the next chord. So it's very common we hear this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back to A minor. Then it goes to A7. Actually, don't stop. The tip here, keep your right hand going. And even if the chord is not built yet, keep going. This will force your hand change faster to the next chord. So when you're doing chord transitions, keep your right hand all the time playing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Never stop your right hand. Your right hand is the most important when you're playing guitar. Even for practicing 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 exercise, try to keep your right hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you do this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you lose your rhythm and you'll be behind the tempo. So keep it 1, 2, 1, 2. If it's hard, make it very slow. Don't worry about it at the beginning. Play fast. Keep very slow. The important thing is to keep the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Fifth tip, practice it every day. Learning guitar is not easy, so you need to have this daily practice. And it's more important that you practice every day than once a week for a long time. So for example, if you practice 10 minutes every day, it's more efficient than if you practice it once a week, 1 or 2 hours. Your muscles need to learn where they have to go, so it's a daily practice. And then after you start with 10-15 minutes, you can make it longer, 30 minutes, then 45. Once you get more difficult things, you're improving on the instrument, practice for longer time. All right? When you're practicing, be very careful with your posture to don't create bad habits. Look at your hands if it has a good position, your back if it's straight, your hand when you're playing. So if the instrument it's in a good height for you to play, and have fun. One more thing is that everyone has their own pace. Don't worry about if you're taking a little bit more longer to learn. Some people will learn faster, another ones you learn slower. The important thing is to keep practicing. Guitar needs patience, discipline, and a lot of effort. So just keep going and practicing. So that's it for today. Please subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and leave a comment here. And see you soon.